This is Stan Hustad for What It Takes Radio, and today we're going into the transformation zone. And this is going to be a bad weekend for our doggy friends. Let me tell you why. And remember, everybody needs a thunder jacket. Here's the story. Greetings, friends, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to an adventure in the transformation zone on this Friday, the 3rd of July, which is flowing into the 4th of July, which will be the weekend. So this entire 250th celebration of the Declaration of Independence, the birth of America, this is a long weekend of partying and celebrations, and where we live, it's not only heated up the emotions, it's just heated up the temperature too. It's going to reach here in North Carolina. It's going to compete with Arizona in terms of that, 100-degree temperature. But we can handle it. We can do that. The transformation zone is something that I have been working with my good friend Joe Pine and others as a way of saying it is time. It is time. It is a TP. It's time to do a transformation project in your own life. Yeah, a transformation project. It's time to do that in your life and in your business, and we'd like to help you do just that. And going forward, we may change. Now, look at this. It's kind of wild and crazy, but you see the butterfly there, and you see that it's kind of an explosion of the cosmos. And there on one side is the city, and the other side, the hills and mountains. And you don't know, is the person walking into the transformation zone, or are they kind of coming out of it? It is a bit of a mystery and mastery that we need to think about. And going forward, as I've told my friend Joe, we're going to have a podcast that has a little bit of a different name. And so I got it printed out and see how it shows. You are the transformation. Yeah, the title of our new podcast will be You Are the Transformation. That's right. And we're going to see if we can help you do just that, if that's what you would perhaps like to do. And if you wouldn't like to do the whole deal, I bet you would like some things that are better, maybe brighter, some boldness and bravery in your life, something perhaps bountiful, maybe beautiful, uh, maybe something that is just plain better than ever. And perhaps you just simply want to take some of the pain out of your life and replace it with more joy, peace, and comfort. You truly want to live not an ordinary life, but perhaps a transformed life, and then be able to share that insight, wisdom, experience, knowledge with others. That we're going to be transformed people seeking to give guidance and mentoring and coaching and maybe a little bit of guru work to those who would like to be transformed or be agents of transformation. Because it is going to be, we're going to live in the AI transformation. We're going to call it the 4AI transformation. And we are in what some people call the outrage zone economy. Outrage, the outrage economy. Some people, like me, will call it the performance economy. But there are a lot of different economies at play and in the economic world today. And how are we going to survive and thrive and live better in all of the challenging times that are before us? Well, that's a little bit of the serious, but like I tell people, whenever you do a radio program, try to connect it to what's going on. Uh, This is the 3rd of July. It's flowing into the 4th of July. And I oftentimes say, see if you can put a little bit of toe, TOE, into your program. Remember, this isn't a sermon. This isn't a lecture. This isn't any of those things that can be boring. You have to have a touch of entertainment. And perhaps something that stirs the mind, something that people recognize. And that's why the title of the program is, Hey, this is a bad weekend for the dogs. Please be careful. And perhaps remember that everybody might need a thunder jacket. Now, some of you are already catching me, but for those of you who don't, let me tell you where this is going. The fireworks will be starting soon. They will continue through the next day, probably through the weekend. They will probably continue for a long time. I went by the Walmart store this morning, and already the big fireworks truck is there, ready to sell people all of the legal and perhaps maybe the questionable fireworks that they can start sending off. But here's the problem. It is going to scare the doggies so bad. We had that experience. Now, we lived in Arizona and we had this cute little doggie. And we called him Jackson because he was a rescue dog, and supposedly he had belonged to a over-the-road trucker, and hit the road, Jack, and so he had named his little dog Jack for hitting the road because he kept the little doggy in his truck, but he couldn't do it anymore, so he gave him up for rescue. Well, we said, well, we're going to name him Jackson, give him a little more, finesse and classe. Jackson was wonderful. What a beautiful, wonderful creature. Kind and gracious and fun. Karen and I loved him dearly, and we miss him. It finally got to the point, where as I say, there aren't many things that I've cried over, but when we put dear Jackson down, I had a rough day. I did, and many of you know what I'm talking about. But I also remember that Jackson was scared to death when the fireworks would go off. Bang, bang. It would frighten him. Now, some of you may know that there is something that you can do. And you can go to your pet shop, and it's what's called a thunder jacket. And what you do is you get the right size for your dog. And what it does, it's kind of like the old fashioned, maybe like the biblical term, swaddling clothes. It's a little blanket that you can wrap around their body and tighten it all around so their whole little body, for the most part, feels like it is kept up in a comfort blanket. It's called a thunder jacket. And whenever the fireworks would start, we always had a thunder jacket for Jackson because he would get frightened, just scared. I mean, he would start to shake. And so we put him in the thunder jacket, and then he oftentimes he had to close up comfortable to Karen and I. Usually he preferred Karen, and that would get him through till the fireworks perhaps eased up. Now, part of the reason it's called a thunder jacket is the same thing can happen, and many of you know this, if your little doggy is in the midst of a real, bang, 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 lightning thunderstorm, the same thing happens. They just panic. Where is this coming? What is this? And so you run and get their thunder jacket and put it on them. By the way, it got to the point where our dear little doggy actually knew that we would hang it up in the back hallway so we could get it right away. He even knew where it was, and sometimes he would run and kind of stand there and wait for us to get there and put it on for him. Yeah, these doggies are sometimes really, really smart. Now, that was oftentimes true because, in effect, if any of you have ever been in a thunderstorm, a real hot thunderstorm in the fiery deserts of Arizona, you know it can really go wild. I mean, the lightning can flash across the sky and the thunder will crack and roll. And scary. It can be scary. And of course, then the water will come in gushes and then it's dangerous. People die in, the flash floods. And so years ago, John Denver, showing my age, wrote a song about his wife, Annie, and he used the term, which I love, but it came something like this. He says, "You light up my senses like a storm in the desert." You light up my senses like a storm in the desert. I love that expression. Let me tell you why in just a bit. But that's the story. Here we are. If you have a doggie, most of you know that if it's going to be anywhere near where there's going to be a bunch of fireworks, and there's going to be a bunch of them, the doggies will have to be comforted or cared for, or perhaps you even have a thunder jacket for your dog. But you're prepared to try and comfort them or maybe give them some sedation. Sometimes you do that, a doggy sedative, and help calm them down. But let me just segue. Most of us do need, in many respects, our own thunder jacket. It's a good metaphor for, something in our lives who, when it's stormy, when things are really, going scary in our lives, somewhere in our experience, maybe we need the person or the place or the belief, the way to actually kind of make it through the storm. We need a kind of a spiritual and emotional, maybe relational, maybe physical, a thunder jacket. What's your thunder jacket? Do you have one? Could you think about what it might be? That when it's tough, when it's scary, when you don't know what's happening, where's your thunder jacket that will help you get through the storm? Just thought I would ask. But can I flip it another way? The song by John Denver, "You light up my senses like a storm in the desert." I've kind of made that into a little bit of a prayer, that expression. Because what I come as an older man, I want to feel more of the senses of life. Our hearing's not going to be as well. Our eyesight's not. We're going to begin to lose some of our senses. And I'm going to pray that in those parts of my life, that God will kind of light up my senses, that I will take time to really be more aware of people, of what's going on, how things are going in other people's life. For me to pay less attention to projects and performance and more to people and relationships. And that I will have a greater sensitivity to people, that in effect, God will kind of light up my senses. That perhaps I will be much more sensitive to those things that are truly important. We all need to maybe light up our senses, and perhaps we need to have that thunder jacket. Just some thoughts to help us get ready to live fully alive and fully free We celebrate freedom. This is what this whole celebration's about. Freedom, fully alive, fully free, and free to serve others and have freedom from fear. Freedom from fear. Wouldn't that be nice? All the best and blessings to you. Thank you for your time. I'm here to help you in a variety of ways as you and your business are trying to make things happen. And I've got a lot of experience. And by the way, I'm going to be teaching you how to be a transformational broadcaster. That's right, how to be a broadcaster that will help people who are seeking to be transformed guides, mentors, helpers, maybe gurus. Could you be a guru? Would you like to be one? There we go. Uh, have a good weekend. May it go well. The uh, the World Cups are going. May your team do well. I don't pick winners, but whatever your team is, may it do well. And then whatever will be. That's what's going on in the world. And I hope that you will have, as I said to the lady at the store this morning, she said, have a good 4th of July. And I turned to her and said, and you too. And may all your fireworks be good ones. And she said, yeah, I would like that. I hope that same would be true for you. I'm Stan Hustad. From time to time, we have some inconvenient ideas and sometimes some uncomfortable conversations. But today, we're trying to find out how we can be more adept at living well in the transformation zone. Till next time, bye for now.